All right, guys, thank you so much for participating this weekend. Let's start off by giving a hand of applause. This is my hometown. I'm very proud to have Bitcoin represented with such elegance and commitment here. I saw a lot of you guys going at it very hard this weekend with some really cool ideas that I'm really excited for the judges to actually take a look at. You know, earlier when I spoke, this hackathon is really about the permissionless nature of Bitcoin, right? Nobody here has to consult with anybody to build what they built, whether it has to do with lottery, financial payments, cross-border payments. You know, fintech is really changing now with the advent of cryptocurrency, and the fact that we can do things like this hackathon and have all these people introduced to very powerful technology that really reaches so many different people all over the world. I'd like to thank all my organizers and all of our sponsors for being so generous with their money and their time. A lot of love again went into this whole production, and that's something that we hope to continue to do every year. A little bit about the format. Each team's going to have 2.5 minutes to present, and then we'll go into a Q&A with the judges. Right now, I'm going to take the opportunity to allow each judge to kind of just let you guys know who they are and where they're coming from.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bernard. I'm also a co-organizer of this event. We threw this last year as well. Both years so far turning out, really well. And again, like Doug said, we hope to do it again. I'm also been dabbling in the Bitcoin space for about almost 3 years now. I'm co-founder of Bitstop with Doug, which is like basically a Bitcoin ATM provider for cash to Bitcoin.
Testing. Hey everyone, Aaron Lasher. Who here has heard of Red Wallet? Who uses Red Wallet? Use the claps, good. We're happy to hear that. I'm the CMO at Red Wallet. This is Madeline, my dog. And I've been extremely active in the Bitcoin space since 2011, and we're really happy to sponsor this event. Red Wallet is a great company. Our lead developer wrote the whole platform for Yammer, which was sold to Microsoft for $1 billion. We have some of the best coders in the industry. My job is to live in that space where code meets customers, and we are hiring. So if anyone here thinks they're up to the task and wants to do some really exciting stuff, come talk to me. We think that we can build a decentralized bank in the future, and we know how to do it. Okay, thanks.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fernandez. I work for PayPal here in Miami. Most people may not know that we have an office here, but it's a small office, and specifically focusing on building a business in Latin America, so I'm spending a lot of time specifically in the cross-border business, so looking to see if anyone's focusing on that. Thanks.
Hi everybody, so I'm Dakh, CTO of Ledger, replacing Chris on the spot because we're apparently stuck in traffic. So Ledger is doing hardware wallets, and we have been developing in the security space for a few years. We plan to release new APIs so that people can easily protect better than Bitcoins and design new secure applications.
Other than that, I don't want to, hog up the mic. I just want to have a question, because I keep asking myself this whole weekend with all this block size, smog size. Is Bitcoin dead, people? No. I mean, look at this room, look around, look at what you guys put in over the last 24 hours. It's incredible. I can't wait to see all the stuff you guys built, because I know it's going to be really good.
Teams from the support, everybody here agrees that Bitcoin is far from dead. But we all see that it's not to the scale that we know it could be. And the only way we can address this is by letting Bitcoin become accessible to every person in the population, not just the tech savvy. The world's first retailer Bitcoin geocaching app. An app where there's a user and a retailer. An app where a user can explore his city, discover where Bitcoins are locked in certain retailers or bars, and an app where the store owner knows when that customer has arrived and now has data to retain that customer. So we're going to show you guys the user side first, and this is what the Bitmine map looks like. So you can see there's a there's a Bitcoin right near us. So we're going to go ahead, press on that, boom. So apparently there's 0.013 Bitcoin around us. Let's absolutely claim that. So how we did that is actually through this little thing right here, which is a Bluetooth beacon. It's nothing but a simple Bluetooth emitter that retailers have been using frequently now, and so we can tap into their network. It's that simple. We actually now have a Bitcoin. So the question is, how does this work on the retailer side? So if we flip over, we see that, let's pretend we are the Lab Miami. We have the list of customers and everyone walked in. So we have me, we have Ray, and we have even Kylo Ren. So there's Ray. We now have a picture of her, so next time she arrives, we know exactly what she looks like. And we have more insightful data, such as how many times they actually viewed the location before clicking on it, how many times they logged in, and how many times they actually walked into your location. So the question that we're trying to, or the problem that we're trying to address here is, again, it's not easy for everyone to have access to Bitcoin. But by making it this simple, by making it where you can just walk anywhere and collect it, we're going to enable everyone that doesn't know about it or can't break the barriers to really get their first Bitcoin and get in the game. This is Bitmine. Thank you for your time.
So this question, I'll run it on right on the mark.
Yes.
Thank you.
I wanted to basically ask.
So the business model is really simple. We're going to charge retailers a price that they predetermine for a walkthrough, so to bring someone into their store. Then they pay us in cash. We take this cash, take a margin, convert it to Bitcoin, and then give it to the users that have been earning it by walking into these places. So in a way, we're going to enable a completely new market of people to have Bitcoin and become profitable by doing so.
Cool product. Have you guys heard of Takara?
Can't say I have.
Look it up. It's a geocaching app for Bitcoin, but I think that you guys actually added a commercial application, which they didn't. So kudos for that. But look them up, Takara.
Thank you.
The value prop then for the merchant is to incentivize new customers.
So the value prop for the merchant is we're giving you direct, transparent marketing. You don't pay a single penny until someone comes in the door at a price that you agreed upon, and then you get insightful data from that customer.
Okay, so the idea is that the application will display a notification every time you pass by a place where there are Bitcoins available.
Right, or if it's a place that you're inherently interested in, you would go there to unlock it, to claim a discount for, et cetera, et cetera.
So it'll use GPS, it'll use latitude, longitude to figure out what are near you within a range further than the beacon, and then to actually make a transaction, you have to be within proximity.
And I actually just want to say one more thing too. We've actually worked with retailers who've installed beacons before, so we're actually in love with the idea that we're going to give access to everybody. So with the Bitcoins that we actually have now, we want to put this in the wallet for the company and get the iOS app out in a week and get this off the ground. If there's any more questions? Thank you for your time.
Hey guys, I'm Sean, this is John, Sophie, Maddie, and Alberto. We're the team behind Berlin. So Berlin is a continuous microtransaction service, but our emphasis is that we made it really, really simple. Berlin focused on making continuous microtransaction billing a really easy thing to integrate into any developer's app. Currently, Bitcoin implements payment channels, which accomplish something very, very similar, but it's extremely complex for a fledgling developer to implement. It might take a significant amount of effort or an advanced developer to be able to integrate it properly. Whereas at Berlin, we built epochs as opposed to payment channels. And an epoch has only 3 API endpoints that you need to use to be able to implement it properly. You post to epoch Sneel with a user token to open an epoch. Then you post a transaction using that epoch token continuously as you build the user. And then finally, when you're finished and the user signs off, you close the epoch. That's the point that the Bitcoins are transferred and the funds are transferred. That's it. So we see this implemented in streaming services like Spotify or Netflix, or in time-based billing services where you would want to bill a user by the amount of time they spent logged into your system. Our goal is to remove the paywall. That's why we went after the name Berlin. So Bitcoin enabled us to do this because of its small transaction size. We were able to work at just fractions of a penny. The smaller fees associated with these smaller transactions, and that it's fast. You don't have to wait 3 days for a credit card transaction to approve. When you're dealing with fractions of a penny, that's not something feasible. So really quick, before we move on, I want to do a live demo. So bear with us as hopefully nothing breaks. I have built here a very simple code pen that makes use of our API calls. I'm going to grab a unique ID over here from our app. This is, in my case, my unique ID. It's deployed on Heroku. I'm going to paste that in here. And then the app is configured to bill by the second. So I'm going to say, let's charge 12.50 Satoshis per second. That's about maybe half a cent, a little less than half a cent, about what Spotify charges for song play. So I'm going to start. It's going to make that initial post request when I click start. And I see that I get continuously fed the user's balance after each transaction and the total size of the Satoshi. We can look at the server logs and see that these transactions are coming in live. When I'm ready to finish, I can click stop. And at that point is when the epoch is closed and the transaction is actually made. We see it finalized out at 25,000 Satoshis. So if I come into our Coinbase and reload, I can see, after I sign in, a 25,000 Satoshi transaction was pushed through after the epoch closed.
That's time.
So there's that.
We'd rather start with Andrew, and then each time we'll just move from Andrew. You can start down here.
All right. I just basically want to say it looks well polished. Are there any applications besides just like Spotify or time-based? Because I really like what you're doing, the microtransactions and ongoing so forth. Do you have anything else you want to add further to that?
Sure. So another one would be gaming, we think. There's a lot of free trial games out there, and we think there's a pretty big barrier to get someone to go from a free trial game to a full pay game. But if you just download a game and you're paying maybe fractions of a cent for the first few minutes, it's basically free for the user. And then if they like it, they just keep buying and buying and buying. Much easier, no new downloads, no new installs.
I don't have a question so much as a comment. The concept of paying somebody every Friday, I think, is probably antiquated and getting more so. So I applaud you guys for something that I can see an obvious use case for, particularly wagering. Thank you.
Would you say there's any particular limitations on the size of the transactions? Is there something that stays within a certain frame, a certain range, in order for it to stay at the same speed or approvals or?
So there is a minimum size for a Bitcoin transaction, and it is harder to get the transaction approved faster, given a small size. But of course, there's no one telling you when to close your epoch as an application developer. You can keep an epoch open for days as you continue to build a user and close it on a weekly basis or close it whenever you feel is best for your specific app. So whatever you need to do, you can make it so that it works out well.
Okay, so I like the ease of use of the API and the nice UI as well. Are you compatible with payment channel underneath, and otherwise are you interoperable with any other technology?
So we're currently not using payment channel underneath, but there's no reason that we couldn't if we wanted to. We felt that the quickest way to implement the technology demo is to just build out the API by scratch and handle it ourselves, than implementing payment channel under the hood.
TXR.
Hi guys, I'm Alex Fallah, and we did transaction receipts through the blockchain.
Hi, my name is Tom Kysar. Yeah, we tackled the problem of verifiable and notarizing invoices on the Bitcoin blockchain. It is a niche little problem that we came in and thought that we could tackle and solve in a very high quality manner. So, we are using a platform called Tyrion, which allows us to take lots of data and lots of records and store it into the Bitcoin blockchain very cheaply, very quickly, and very efficiently. So we have a website, trx.io. You go online right now. You start off with putting in your recipient's email address. So I want to invoice Alex for a purchase within our company. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to use both of our emails and my Bitcoin address that I would like to receive the coins at. Going next, you now have a fully in-browser editable invoice. So you can go on here, I can add more lines, I can remove more lines. If Josh Unseth wants to charge Chris D. Rose for his monthly professional trolling, he 110% can. So you can go right in here, you can change everything as you please. You know, numbers, 12, everything will update. US dollars, BTC balance, as well as, you know, the recipient's email addresses and your BTC address as well. When you're ready to go, you get ready, you go to send invoice. It's going to ask you to confirm one more time. Hit send off, and there it goes. It went directly to my email. And what actually happens behind the back end is all those individual variables and inputs that you see in the purchase order and that invoice there individually get hashed as a record into the Bitcoin blockchain. Right now, as you can see here on the Tyrion Explorer, that is all that public data. You know, Josh Unseth's name for booking Chris D. Rose, and the amount of money, the rate. All that data is verifiable against the Bitcoin blockchain. There is a target hash down here, which matches with the Bitcoin transaction that it goes into. And you can do all those proof backwards to verify that that data is accurate. If we had about another half hour, it was actually going to be the reason for the short URL is that that target hash was going to go into the OP return of the Bitcoin transaction, as well as a short URL from the txr.io that we could stick into the extra, you know, about 18 bytes we get at the 80 byte limit. That would allow you to, I could buy a car from Alex Fallah for 10 Bitcoin, and in that actual Bitcoin transaction itself, I will have the target hash of the data to prove that data is valid, and a link where I can go independently verify that data itself. So, I think so. Yeah, you're good.
Are you compatible with the proof of payment specification, or is it bland, or is it completely different?
Say that one more time?
Are you compatible with the proof of payment specification? It's a BIP. I don't remember exactly which one. You can look it up. There is a new BIP, I think, that was published a few months ago to let you verify that a payment was properly processed. It could be a bit related to that, maybe. I mean, at least in the payment part of the invoice.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely a part to it. We focus, you know, really on getting data and, you know, people's valuable data, data on high-profile transactions and high net worth transactions, transactions where you want, you know, a purchase order. You want to know the terms of sale. So we focused on putting the data into the blockchain.
Awesome product. This is going to be a huge use of the blockchain, timestamping and verifying that things exist at a certain point. I know particularly in art, with the concept of provenance, this is going to be huge as well, and there are a lot of startups in the space. Explain to me why you chose invoices. When might an invoice be contentious or contended?
Well, the beauty about this invoice actually is I like that you can go in there and you can change it anything as you please. So right now it's formatted as an invoice, but you could go in there and, you know, put any data arbitrarily into the Bitcoin blockchain if you choose. It's really, it's formatted for an invoice right now. You can go with anything into it. We chose an invoice because when I was coming down here, I wanted to kind of solve a niche use case here and try to solve it on a very, you know, higher quality manner. And Actually, I was talking to Tone for Brave New Coin yesterday, and he sat me down and he goes, "There's not a single Bitcoin wallet where I can invoice someone," and that really pisses me off. So.
No questions. I commend you for using Ethereum. I like the team at Ethereum, by the way. Very smart team. Good guys over there. So, kudos to you guys on this project. Very nice.
You guys have a good time? Come on, give it up, Miami. Awesome. Hey, I'm Jason King, and this is my partner, Stephen Dakh, and our project here today is called Bounty. I'm most well known in the Bitcoin space as the founder of Sean's Outpost, and I'm pretty much associated with using Bitcoin for feeding the homeless. And so, stay with what you know. And so, since Bitcoin's been around, I've wanted the ability to, if I saw a homeless person and I really wanted him to get fed, I wanted to be able to say like, hey, I've got $5. If somebody would go feed that guy, I got 5 on it, pretty much. And so that's what we built out this weekend. But so that's actually something a little more. Okay, thank you. That's actually something a little more powerful than that. It's actually leveraging something called the casual economy, which is actually a $700 billion market that's actually really hard to quantify because it's things like, hey, I'm going to give you $5, will you go get me something from the store? Like those sort of things. So what we built here, can you open your? What we built here is basically it's a distributed bounty system for little tasks. And it's built out for iOS, and I'm just going to walk through that. So it's Bounty. So we built out a full login and user interface, but for time constraints, we're not going to walk through all of that right now. We're already logged in. So what you were going to do is to create a new bounty. We're just going to click here. You're just going to title it, so like feed homeless. And just decide how much your bounty wants to be. So let's say do 2 Bitcoins. Obviously, it's a gigantic bounty, right? So, and then just say if the bounty you're doing has a location, like it might be something that's online, so it doesn't need a location. But if it needs a location, like do you need it? So that's it. So cool. Well, then just tell us where it's going to be. So hey, it's going to be over here. Like yeah, it's not exactly right. It's going to be I'm going to feed this homeless guy on this corner right here. And then you can add notes. So you could like feed the guy in the blue hat or whatever. So I'm just going to back out over to the main screen. Okay, so what happens then is basically is you're creating a multi-sig escrow. And so the person creating the bounty is going to have 1 key. The person that's going to attempt the bounty is going to have the other key. And the platform by default is going to have the 3rd key. However, if we had another day, we would build out a reputation system marketplace so you could actually like trade on your reputation. You could trade on like on fee comparisons. So you could have a 3rd party that could be a trust with the key holder. But sorry, we didn't get it done in a day. So like to demonstrate this, let's see. Which one do you want to show first? Yeah, okay. So this is just one. This is like a bounty that I put in here, and then so it shows me people that are willing to complete this task. Okay, and so that I accept one. And so when Stephen wants to complete this task, so I say accept, and then I'm going to fund this escrow. Okay, and so that's going to happen. And then so the next one we're going to show same one.
10 seconds, give or take.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and so, okay, and here's the release of it. That would be releasing the escrow for one, and then that's it. Apparently we don't have any time to show anymore, so that's pretty much it. But this is functional, it's JavaScript, React Native, MongoDB and Node with Express, and JavaScript's eating the world. If you're not doing it, I don't know what's wrong with you. So that's us, that's Bounty.
Samaritan and social causes and so forth. I'm sure you thought even further deep into this, but you can just put out bounties for almost any job. And,
yeah, just really just anything. Like take my trash out. I think pick up a sandwich for me, like whatever. And it'd be great if you could like pay a homeless guy to feed another homeless guy. I mean that would be amazing, right?
Okay. All right. And I just wanted to get some more mental.
Yeah, I mean just literally any task that you could think of, you could complete through this.
Yeah. Similar like TaskRabbit or something like that, where
yeah, for sure, but
with Bitcoin,
yeah, with Bitcoin and the ability where you don't really have to have a lot of trust because it's multi-sig.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, no questions. I mean, I think it's super cool. I mean, part of it's we're restricted by having this representation, so yeah. I think I'm having trouble, thinking of questions because I feel like I need to hear more.
Yeah.
But I can totally see myself.
Yeah, it's baller, and we've literally got like 30 screens, and like it works amazing. We just can't show you. So come up and see it. We'll show you. It'll be great. Yeah. Kudos. Looks super cool. Great. Thank you.
That's great. I don't have any other questions either.
Yeah, no, I don't really have questions, although yeah, it seems that's a very nice service to use for a lot of use cases.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. So what's the single most important thing we can do to make Bitcoin a success? Get more adoption. I think we can all agree it's going to legitimize the currency, it's going to raise the price, it's going to make it easier to run a business on top of. Getting more adoption is the key. Sean Walsh gave a great talk in the conference preceding this hackathon, and he mentioned that we should try to concentrate on 3 main cohorts. One of those was coupon collectors.
So we've created Super Groupon. In the premise of Super Groupon, think of it as the Groupon of Bitcoin deals. So we all know that Bitcoin has inherently a lot of discounts within it for a number of different reasons. And what we're doing is displaying all of those discounts on an aggregated page. And why we chose couponing? Pretty obvious. You know, there's 49 million people in the US that use coupons on a normal basis, which I'm sure all of us in the room have. Into all of Bitcoin's emerging markets, you can see the numbers there as well, is that there's tons of couponers there. And the great thing about couponers is that they're willing to do anything to get a deal. And while they're getting this deal, they have a ton of incentive to also learn why Bitcoin is great and a lot of what Bitcoin is good at.
So we built the site to aggregate all of the deals on the internet that by using Bitcoin you get a discount for. So as you can see, we have some featured deals at the top there, and you can scroll down and see the rest of them. You'll notice that we don't have bit or coin in the name. It's Super Coupon. It's for people who are already looking for coupons on the internet. And we really educate people about Bitcoin at the top. If you go back to the index page, you'll see that we have a little flag there that shows you where to read up on Bitcoin or how to get a wallet. And we also have an about page. And we also explain how to get the discounts. So there's a lot of education going on there. It's specifically focused at non-Bitcoiners.
Yeah, the really cool thing is that we launched it this morning, so you guys can all check it out on your mobile device. It's responsive. We pushed it to Product Hunt. We made a Twitter account that already has almost 100 followers. I had one of my friends message me this today. So we've already got 1 user for Fold app, so we can see that this is already in the real world, and people are already signing up for Purse and signing up for Fold just to get those discounts, and they're learning Bitcoin in the process. And as of right now, we also have. Yeah, so we have 330 page visits as of right now too.
A little bit about the actual payment flow. So I want to buy the coupon, I buy the Bitcoin at that moment, and then what happens after? Are you purchasing the coupons and reselling them, or are you paying out the merchant? How does that work?
Yep, so we can just show you live. So all we're doing simply is just aggregating all these deals. We don't have anything to do with the payment, and it just forwards you to whatever the payment is. So the 20% off for Starbucks, which we all know, we click on this and it takes you to Fold. Then there's directions within the description that tells you, how to use Fold, etc.
Cool stuff, and really cool that you guys launched it. I think that's awesome. What is the genesis of a deal that can only be achieved through Bitcoin, and will it persist?
So by the genesis, I'm assuming you mean how these vendors can give the deal, or like how it happens. So Bitcoin is naturally cheaper than every other payment method and most other payment methods. So vendors are incentivized to give deals to their customers, so that way they can save money on payment processing. So there are all of these vendors and merchants all around the internet that already do this, and we're just kind of aggregating them in one place in a really like clean, nice UX that non-Bitcoiners and Bitcoiners can use.
Cool, thanks. And I don't want to take too much time, but I know that the cost savings for a merchant might be a couple percentage points on the price of an item. How would able to offer 15% off? I mean, I know Purse and Fold do this. In your opinion, is this something that will persist in the industry, or is it a short-term trend?
You're definitely right that the margins are lower than 15 or 20%, but it'll persist in the sense that Bitcoin will always be cheaper than a credit card transaction. So yeah, it's kind of a big up in the air thing right now as to the margins, but I think that margin will only grow over time. It's pretty sizable right now, especially for lots of transactions or big transactions.
I don't have a good question, but I like, again, this focus on getting consumers to use Bitcoin. Fold app is a great use case. It's like, 20% off Starbucks. I mean, who doesn't want that? Other things like that Amazon, I'm forgetting the name now, but there's like something for Amazon.
Smile.
Was it?
Purse.
Sorry, wasn't coming to me, but things like that where you get significant cost savings. I mean, that's where consumers are. They don't really care about Bitcoin per se. They just want, the deal. So I see this where you're gonna have to probably get a lot of consumers on it and kind of like bond these merchants in order to get them to offer these types of incentives if you're pitching Bitcoin only. So that's the only caveat I would see here.